match because I predict these things.
Steve Erceg takes on Ode Osbourne this Saturday at UFC Fight Night in the co-main event. And this is kind of a step down in competition for Steve Erceg. You know, fought Pantoja, Kai Kara-France, Brandon Moreno, now fighting Ode Osbourne, but it is because opponent changes. He was supposed to be taking on Alex Perez, and then it was Hyung Sung Park who got pulled up to fight Tyra last weekend, and now he's taking Ode Osbourne on. And in short notice, you know, and Ode Osbourne broke his 3-fight losing streak back in April with a vicious knockout over Louis Garule. So looking forward to this one. You know, Steve Erceg, Ode Osbourne, they're always, you know, very exciting fighters. So I think this is going to be a good fight. Steve Erceg, 12-4. He's 30 years old, 5'8", with a 68.5-inch reach. Really good boxing, you know, bladed stance, big for the division, but, you know, still has really good cardio. Jiu-jitsu black belt, and a wrestler, won national championships back in Australia. Just very well-rounded, very technical, educated, pressure on the feet. He's only losing to the elite flyweights of the division. And, you know, very close fights in his last couple of fights with Brandon Moreno and Alexandre Pantoja. If he would have stuffed a few more of the takedowns from Pantoja, you could argue that he could have won 3 out of the 5 rounds. But Ode Osbourne, 33, 5'7", with a 73-inch reach, and he's 13-8 in his career. So he is going to have about a 4.5-inch reach advantage. He's going to be 3 inches older, or 3 years older. Very fast and powerful southpaw striker. Very fast kicks. Usually has the speed advantage in his fights. Huge reach for the division. Was a 3-time state qualifier in high school wrestling. Wrestled at the University of Wisconsin, I think it was, for 1 year before the program got disbanded. And was a national qualifier in that year. So it's a very good on the ground. Mixes in his wrestling very well with his striking. 65% takedown defense, so not the best takedown defense though, given his wrestling credentials, and is a jiu-jitsu purple belt. He is very finishable. He's been submitted about 4 times, KO'd twice, so, you know, 8 losses on his record. So I'm gonna go with Erceg in this one. I just think he's better overall. I think he's the more polished MMA fighter. He's had the full camp, isn't taking this on short notice. You know, I don't think Osbourne was in a camp before taking this. You know, Osbourne starts fast, but he can fade as the fight goes on, and that's with a full camp. Erceg, you know, we've seen him go hard for 5 rounds, grappling, striking. I think Steve Erceg has the technical ability on the feet to outpoint Osbourne, land more volume as the fight goes on. He has great movement, you know, great footwork. He's not going to stand in front of Ode Osbourne the way that Louis Garule did in that last fight, just being kind of flat-footed. And I think he has the wrestling to negate Osbourne's takedowns, and the jiu-jitsu to kind of threaten if he does get him to the ground, threaten with sweeps, submissions, get back up to his feet. I don't think Osbourne has much in terms of jiu-jitsu if it does go to the ground. You know, we saw that in his fight with Ronaldo Rodriguez, where he was just kind of controlled the entire fight, and Rodriguez is more of a striker. I think he's only a blue belt in jiu-jitsu. So I think Erceg's going to put on a pace, mix up his wrestling just to wear on Osbourne, tire him out, and just kind of take over as the fight goes on. It's only 3 rounds. If this was 5 rounds, I would definitely lean further towards Steve Erceg, but short notice fight, Steve Erceg. I think he's the better overall fighter. Has more just overall skill, I would say. You know, Ode Osbourne was on kind of a skid. You know, getting finished, losing fights. Had a really nice win over Louis Garule in his last fight. Steve Erceg, again, not the most momentum either, but had a good showing of himself in his last fight against Brandon Moreno. So I'm going to go Steve Erceg to get this one done by decision. Thanks.